Okay, I'm running you through the Lakewood Town Center 24037, just the bid form and the information that's on there. This is hopefully to help you put this bid together a little quicker. So asphalt R&R, there's 6 patches, 4-inch depth, remove and replace. There's 6 locations, 8x8, 6x10, 6x15, 8x8, 12x30, and 8x8. That's all on page 4, and it shows all 6 repairs located on this page, except for it didn't label number 3. Number 3 is right there in front of Burlington, and I have that in my previous video. Then it looks like potentially 4 days of grind and overlay. There's 1,320 tons. There's a 3-inch grind and overlay. That's 35,496 square feet, and then 2-inch grind and overlay, 49,491 square feet. That is, if you're looking at this map, the far north end of the property, where you've got Route 21 and Country Buffet, and then you've got the little bus transit over here. This all right here is a 2-inch. Okay, 2-inch grind and overlay, including this little area right here in the gray. All right, and then we'll put back all the striping, of course. This area right in here is the 3-inch grind and overlay, including half of the road that comes down next to Wingstop. So I'm thinking we could still block the road off in this section here, because there's multiple entrances all over Lakewood Town Center. So if we need to close this down, I say we close it down to do what we need to do. In the line items, it says base repair, 500 square yards of base repair. My understanding on that is where we're doing the grind and overlays, and I think there's probably some failed areas where they wanted us to dig down and repair some of those areas before we do a grind and overlay. It says when you look at the 3-inch mill, like grind and overlay, it says this on the 2-inch as well, but it says base repair as directed. So I'm thinking it's, they're allotting 500 square yards in the bid to, let me break it down in square feet. 4,500 square feet. And I believe it's a 6-inch depth of rock that they're talking about when doing base repair. So they're allotting 4,500 square feet of base repair at 6 inches, I believe. Because when you look at pavement patching, it says remove weak aggregate base, subgrade, replace with 6-inch lifts of crushed aggregate. Okay, so we would put in roughly 6 inches of aggregate, or, crushed rock, and then we would do our 4-inch patch. So on the bid form, we've gotten through all the patchwork, the base repair. You got your HMA at the 1,320 tons, the 4-inch pavement patching, that's the 378 square feet. That's what we talked about on the R&R. So that covers all of that. Now we're into miscellaneous construction, which is replacing the curb. There's 25 feet of curb repair. It's up here at the far north end near the transit area. There's like a curb that's right there, and it looks just like this. Okay, so you've got 25 feet of curb that needs to come out, plus you've got sidewalk that needs to come out that's 5 feet wide. It's about 5 inches, so we're going to rip that all out. This curb here, I'm guessing it's probably a little bit deeper. And then what they want to do is they want us to put back a straight curb. So I wrote down in the notes, which all this is going to be saved to Google Drive, I put removal of 25 feet by 5 feet of sidewalk and curb, and then placement of sidewalk and curb. It's an 18-inch curb that we need to put back in at 25 feet. And that detail is on page D2, and there's your detail. 12 inches roughly underground, and then you got 6 inches above ground. Then you got the sidewalk here, that is 4,000 PSI, and it's 5-inch depth on the sidewalk. Broom finish, they want to have an expansion joint there. You can see expansion material, so like fiberboard between the curb and the sidewalk. So there's your curb. Instead of it ramping down, they want that curb to run out straight, and then the sidewalk ramps down. On sheet D3, there's a detail of where here's the asphalt, here's the sidewalk, like I was showing you, and then the sidewalk ramps down consistently at 5 inches. Here's your flat area up top, and then it ramps down, and it turns into like an integral curb where at the end here, the sidewalk is buried. So we can pour, it almost looks like we can pour this piece and the sidewalk all the same. And then right here you can see that height where I think the ramp comes out. I could be wrong. No, you know what? There isn't a curb wall. It's just straight up ramp that goes down. So as we go to pour that curbing, we have to pour that curbing and then ramp it down. So it looks like we could pour it all at once almost, and maybe put some fiberboard in between, and then down at the end where it runs flush with the asphalt, rerun that edge piece, 12 inches into the ground. So when we go to put sidewalk back, we're only actually putting back 18 feet by 5 feet of sidewalk. I take that back. That's incorrect. I take that back because it looks like it's all poured as one at the same thickness. They were saying, though, that you have to go at a 12 to 1 ratio here on the slope, which means we probably go 6 to 7 feet on the ramp. So that would be a ramp of about 7 feet, but still it's going to have the same thickness. So we're really putting back sidewalk and ramp at 25 feet by 5 feet. And then you got your asphalt restoration around all the sidewalk stuff, and that was about 30 feet by 2. Seeing here it says replace curb ramp 35 square feet. So I was guessing that's about a 7 by 5, since the existing sidewalk is 5 foot wide. This portion would be ramp up 7 feet, and then the rest would be sidewalk, flat sidewalk, I should say. Okay, so then now let's talk about the landscaped island replacement. They say there's 75 cubic yards of excavation. So I put in the 75 cubic yards of excavation, and that's going to be like saw cutting and removing asphalt, and then removing existing curbing that's out there on this property. And I showed in my previous video these curb islands. So on page 4.2, you'll see in the notes here it says existing island curb removal, 384 lineal feet of island curb removal. I think part of that is in this excavation of 75 cubic yards, because they don't really have that detailed out on the bid form. So that 75 cubic yards is to remove the curbs. It's to remove existing pavement. That means we're removing some of this pavement that's here where these new islands are going. The old islands are what you see here in white, and then what's in green is what we're going to end up creating with new straight curb. Okay, so that means in that excavation we'll be excavating out and saw cutting this asphalt in order to create these bigger islands. Proposed full depth asphalt pavement patching. It says 46 square yards. We have that plugged into one of the bid items in there. I can't remember which one it was, but it's all in there. I think I already showed you. Proposed landscape replacement. It says 1,014 square feet of proposed landscape replacement. It sounds like they're saying we need to bring back in some like soil or dirt in there, and that dirt would be approximately 4 inches. Be about 4 inches of dirt that we would end up putting in to the landscape. So like probably like a topsoil or something. So we got to throw in 1,014 square feet of topsoil, and then it says proposed 4-inch PVC sleeve. Part of that excavation is going to be running trenches through all these areas right here and even up here. And then what they want is they want to bury a 4-inch PVC pipe that connects into these these islands. So there's one here, one here, one here, here, there. What they do with those pipes is up to them. We can tape them off on the ends, but we have to put them in all of these little drive aisles here. Okay. That PVC pipe placement is 250 lineal feet. And then when we go to put that curb back in, all this new curb, we're going to tie it in. We're actually going to rip out everything that's existing here. We're going to exclude the tree removal that's in here because we will not remove trees. So I'll put that in there. It says reconstruct landscape islands, tree and landscape removal, and soil backfill by others. Okay, so now that I just read this, we don't have to fill in these islands. All the removal and the placement of soil, all that backfilling, that's going to be done by somebody else. Okay, so never mind the 1,014 square feet of landscape replacement. All right. Excavate pavement, install PVC sleeve, and cast straight curb, typical for all islands. So on that curb island, it's the 18-inch by 6-inch I just showed you earlier that has 12 inches in the ground. It's 574 lineal feet of that straight curb for these islands. And then asphalt restoration, I figured with the excavation that we're doing, we could probably saw cut. Well, no, we'll have to do a little bit of excavation on this. So I would imagine that I put in kind of like if we were doing curb and gutter. I did 574 feet to account for the curbing, and then did it 2 feet wide. We might change that to 1 foot. It's up to you guys. And then the 250 feet is where the 4-inch PVC pipe placement is. We're going to put that asphalt back. So I did a 250 foot by 2 foot wide trench, and we will put back. When we go to dig this out, we'll have to dig it down probably about 4 inches of asphalt plus the 6 inches of crushed rock. So we'll have to go down about 10 inches, put the PVC pipe in, fill it up with some rock, and then put back 4 inches of asphalt. So I put asphalt restoration in there as well. And then last is the striping. We've got 1,842 lineal feet of parking stalls. Regular painted arrows, we've got 10 each. Those are your 5-foot arrows that go up here around Old Country Buffet and at these islands. Yellow painted double yellow center line, 343 feet. Cross hatching, white cross hatching, 4-inch, 400 feet. 12-inch painted stop bars, 15 feet. Thermal stop bars, that needs to be changed. It needs to be 72 feet of painted stop bar. So 72 plus 15 is going to be your total painted stop bar. Okay, so I changed them both to painted stop bar. Okay, so 72 plus 15. Then you got painted washed out arrows. There's those elongated arrows. There's actually 2 of those. Painted 8-inch gore line. That's where your turn lane is. 200 feet. All of this gore line, the arrows, the stop bars, and the double yellow center line all needs glass bead. So we got to make sure we're throwing in probably a 50 or 60 pound bag of glass bead. 12-inch painted crosswalk, 240 feet, 4-inch center line, skip line. That's 403 lineal feet. Painted standard arrows, I think I already told you about that. That was 10, so I got that doubled up in here. Okay, it ended up being a little bit of chicken scratch there, but at least I walked you through it so you know what's going on. The striping should take only a day. I'm not sure how long these islands would end up taking to saw cut and remove and put back, but I'm guessing it's going to be probably like 2 days. 1 day to tear it all up, then another day to form back all the curbs and pour them. That'd probably include putting in that PVC pipe. So then maybe a 3rd day to wrap up the asphalt restoration for that. Sidewalk, I think I talked to you about that. That was a 1-day deal with another day of asphalt restoration. And then those days on the grind and overlay, which we'll need to rent a grinder. Okay, that should do it.